Hello, I'm Dan, and this is part one of a two-part tutorial on how to set up and play an online multiplayer game of my game, the Octagon Theory. From now on, I'll refer to the Octagon Theory as TOT. TOT has both single player, where you play against the AI, and cross-platform online multiplayer for 2 to 4 human players. Cross-platform online multiplayer is a low-cost in-app purchase. It's about $1 and it will allow you to play online games for 2 months. After 2 months, you'll have to manually renew your subscription with another in-app purchase. This will not be renewed automatically. But even if you don't renew, you'll still be able to play single-player games. I did say cross-platform online multiplayer, which means games can be played between Macs and iPads at this time. Depending on how popular TOT becomes, I may create Android and Windows versions, and you'll be able to play online games from any device on which TOT runs. Okay, let's set up a two-player online game, but first online multiplayer has to be enabled by buying it. First of all, on the left is the web version of TOT, which normally has no multiplayer, but I enabled it for this tutorial. On the right is the Mac version of TOT, on which I'm going to enable multiplayer and set up a multiplayer game. At the bottom of the main screen is a rotating gear. Click or tap on that gear to get to the first option screen. At the top of the screen, enter your player name. I'm going to enter Tokyo Dan. When you hit return, this will cause the single player button to be enabled, but not the multiplayer button. In order to enable that, you have to purchase the online multiplayer or use that special account I just mentioned. At the bottom of the screen, click or tap the boards button. Select the top multiplayer board. Also, if you click and hold or tap and hold on a board, you can see a preview of the board. Now that a board is selected, click or tap the back button to go back to the previous screen. You can see that the multiplayer button is enabled. Click or tap that. The select room type and 6 buttons will appear. These are the buttons you'll use to start or join an online multiplayer room. The left column is for playing on the board that you have currently selected. The right column is for playing on any multiplayer board. The top row is for 2-player games, the middle row is for 3-player games, and the bottom row is for 4-player games. Okay, if you tap on a button and there's already a room of the type you want with a player slot available, you'll join that room and will have to wait for the room to be filled and for the player who created that room to start the game. If you tap a room and there's not a room of the type you want, a new room will be created. You'll have to wait until all player slots are filled, at which time you must start the game since you're the one who created the room. Click the top left button to create a 2-player room with the board that you previously selected. A dialog pops up informing you that you have to wait till all the players have joined. Now I'm going to go to the web version of TOT and join the room I just created as a player named Web. At the bottom of the main screen, I click or tap on the rotating gear to get to the first options screen. I click the multiplayer button to show the select room type buttons. Because I want to play a 2-player game and will play on any board, I click the top right button. A dialog will appear telling me to wait till the game starts. And at the same time, over on the Mac version, the dialog has changed, telling Tokyo Dan that everyone is ready and to please start the game now. Click or tap the start button. The game starts with the game screen appearing. The first player's pieces will slide up from the bottom on both versions, and the name of the player who goes first will be flashing on the top of the screen. The players take turns in the order in which they join the room. The pieces of the player whose turn it is will slide up from the bottom of the screen, and the game's board's color will match the color of the player whose turn it is. Okay, that concludes part 1 of this tutorial. In part 2, I'll show you the basics of playing an online multiplayer game.